They say wise men speak because they have something to say.
Yeah, they also say fools speak because they have to say something.
Well,
here we are.
Yeah, you bit that one.
Well.
Relax. All right. Welcome back to The Gambler and the Guardian. I'm Nathan, also known as The Guardian.
And I'm Anthony, known as The Gambler.
I got a question, Anthony.
What's that?
You eat hot dogs?
Corn dogs only over here. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I eat hot dogs. In fact, there's two places that I eat hot dogs.
Let me guess.
I already know you gotta guess them. Go ahead.
Baseball games?
Yep, that's one.
The second one might not be right.
Yeah, it is.
Costco?
Yep.
Oh, money.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't eat hot dogs at Costco?
I love myself a nice all beef frank, preferably halal. And I think it's funny that a lot of times, here in America, I do feel as though that we have so many freedoms that oftentimes that we might take them for granted. Something as simple as a hot dog.
Well, you're saying like if we wouldn't be able to eat a hot dog? How is that even possible? Like this is a national kind of pastime thing for especially here in America.
Exactly. And here in America, we tend to set the trends for the world, and people all around the world love hot dogs. But it just so happens right now in North Korea that if you eat a hot dog and you're caught eating a hot dog, that you can face hard labor as a punishment for eating a hot dog.
Hard labor. So if I go eat a hot dog and I'm in North Korea or I'm a North Korean.
Chain gang.
Oh, put them in the chain. Not just they're going to have you dig a ditch, which will help you work off eating the hot dog.
Nah, brother. It's real over there. Like, they're on some whole other vibes, like whole other anti-American vibes over there. I'm going to share this article that we have found here. North Koreans have reportedly been banned from eating hot dogs as a part of the crackdown on Western culture infiltrating the Hermit Kingdom. Dictator Kim Jong-un has declared that serving the sausage as an act of treason, the Sun reports, amid the rising popularity of a South Korean dish inspired by the U.S. People caught selling or cooking hot dogs face the prospect of time in the country's infamous labor camps, while Pyongyang has also decreed that divorcees could also be jailed. As a part of the regime's efforts to quash capitalist culture among citizens, it has forbidden the sale of bundae jjigae, a dish imported from pro-Western neighbor South Korea. So apparently, I've looked into this. Hot dogs are very popular in Korea, and they've even gone much further than us in ways to eat them.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they're not just eating it a hot dog in a bun like we would traditionally eat it here.
Our traditional hot dog is most likely not even as much of a thing over there, but yeah.
Gotcha. So, okay, so just taking in kind of what you said here. So, if they're caught selling them or even eating them, then you'll be forced to potentially join the chain gang or be in prison.
You're going to prison. For eating a hot dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
For eating a hot dog. And his idea for why he's doing this is because Western culture has a huge thing around eating hot dogs. And he believes that if he stops his people from eating hot dogs, then they ain't gonna...
The influence will slow the influence or stop the influence, yes. It's absolutely absurd.
Okay.
But again,
I'm not the only one.
We're here often. I'm just gonna say it. In America, we're entitled. We suffer from entitlement. We don't see it as that because we have this expectation that we're from here. We're here. This is what we should. It should be this way. And like, hey, there's a whole lot of things that are blessings, that we don't see as that. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because it's like we're complaining about conveniences, dude. We're complaining about like literal first world problems, right?
that's when they say it's a first world problem. They're talking about like being in America with food.
We can eat whatever we want here.
And not just that, but we have access
The accessibility.
to all kinds of different types of cuisine.
Right. Yes. So, yeah. What about tipping? When you go out to eat,
Yeah.
do you consider yourself to be a good tipper?
Yeah. I think I'm a good tipper. I mean, I usually tip. I don't do it always based on like a percentage. Like nowadays, whenever you go somewhere, literally on the receipt or on, if you buy anything at the register, it pops up and it says, what's your tip? And it has percentages, right? I kind of in a way see that as a little insulting because I don't think like that, but I tip. It usually ends up like 20, 25%, something like that. And the thing that I like to do is I like to use $2 bills.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I have these, I get them directly from the bank, and they're like a crispy $2 bills. And I've had the experience of the waitress or the bartender or wherever I'm at have a moment, because it's fairly rare that someone hands you a brand new, fresh off the mint $2 bill,
Well,
how about you? You a tipper? I know you're a tipper.
I believe I'm an excellent tipper. And what you had mentioned, the printed suggested tip on the receipt.
Yeah.
When that came about, that had a strange effect on me. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I see that on there, immediately I'm like turned off, and like it has an effect. Meaning, I'll end up giving like the highest percentage of tip that's on the paper, but if it wasn't there, I would have given significant more, a significant amount more. And this is
I think that
I understand why it's there.
Yeah, because overall it's encouraging others to tip.
Yeah, because they need the tips, right? And so like I don't know if everybody understands why it is the way it is and why it's so important
to tip.
Right?
Well, because just as we're about to go down this road, I remember Reservoir Dogs. And Mr. Pink, the guy who's running the show goes, okay, I took care of the bill, which means you're not paying your $6-7, whatever it was at that time for your meal.
Just take care of the tip.
Just take care of the tip.
I don't tip.
So Mr. Pink, Steve Buscemi, who's hilarious, and always puts up a fight no matter what he does, does this whole thing around I'm not tipping and why he doesn't tip, and that's their problem, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, this is a problem, believe it or not, that seems to be an American problem.
It doesn't happen elsewhere? Because when I go to Mexico, I be tipping, and they love it.
In Europe, they don't have tipping.
At all.
And in many places that if you try to tip people, they will take it as an insult.
Oh, they'll be offended.
Correct.
Like what they did for you wasn't enough, like you're paying for more kind of thing?
Right. Because of the United States and our type of capitalism that we have in place, we like to try to make as much money as possible and pay the least amount of possible for the work to get done, right? A lot of times this ensures that you're not going to get quality work done by the people that you're employing. But also what happens is, this is why in the United States we have what's called minimum wage. Minimum wage is non-existent in many other places. And the reason minimum wage does exist is for the reason that I just said. And these people are working for tips. So people that work for tips and people that are working for commissions, that have commission-based salaries that are relatively
structured in that
relatively small, that are structured in that way. Yeah, it's not. This is not something that's in favor of the people. So it's absolutely necessary, probably here, to be printing the suggested tip amount on the receipt. But the reason that it's there is because we have a kind of a greedy way of doing things, and
so
we're not taking care of the people like that.
So you're saying that these companies are trying to lower their employee cost as low as possible to eke out as much as profit as possible, and essentially are just pushing the expense of the
back
employees
onto the customer.
Correct. In a different way. Instead of increased prices so they can pay their employees more, they want to advertise a lower price to bring them in the door, but then push on them that, hey, you got to tip them or else, these our employees won't be happy working here.
While, in other countries, they're just like, we're getting paid to do a good job and we're going to do our job. You know what I mean? And over here, it's like these people got to really bend over backwards to get tips because they have to deal with people that are like walking Yelp reviews, that are like, what's this? I didn't order that. I send this back. And then, they go through hell dealing with these people, and then they have to like try to go to the manager to try to get this discounted for these people to hopefully get a tip from somebody that really doesn't give a crap about them anyway.
Yeah, this seems like more of a society thing. How people in society, I tip not only because I want to hook that person up, but it makes me feel good that when I get great service, they get extra.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I will say that if I get really crappy service, I'm not the best tipper. I still tip. I don't leave nothing. I remember at a younger age, one of my elders, he's like, oh, well, worst case scenario, you leave a tip. Just write on there, don't eat yellow snow. Gave him a tip. God. And I was like, oh, that always kind of stuck with me of like, well, that's the worst case scenario is you leave them that kind of tip. I've like never done that. But, If
it's that bad, I'm probably not going to make it to the point of the payment part. Like if it sucks like that, I'm just going to like be like, all right, I'm good on this shit. Like I'll pay you for this shit that I got and I'm out. Like
and just walk out.
Yeah.
So essentially, you'd be a dine-and-dasher.
No, I'm saying you. I guess you didn't hear me just say I'll pay for what I ordered, and I'm out. Like, but the tip shit is out. Like that's not optional. If it has pushed me to that point that I'm really to just like push my food forward onto the table and walk off, like yeah.
But you still pay for it,
of course. Yeah, you got to pay for this.
So
shit.
What I'd say is
you got to have class. You got to have class. You got to pay for what you ordered, whether you like it or not. Because guess what? You've ordered it. You've asked for this. Whether it makes your expectation or not, it's your issue. Don't make it the issue of the business. You know what I mean? Unless they promoted it to you specifically as the best X, Y, or Z in the world.
Or something like that. Yeah, because if you order food and you don't know what it is, like I have kid, right? So I take my daughter out. She's like, oh, I want to get this. I'm like, okay, don't think much about it. Because she wanted to order it. And then it comes out. And it just, parent has had this situation happen. It comes out, they take one look at it, and they're like, no. I ain't doing this. And then they want to eat mine.
Bro, I just did this on the way up here, okay? I stopped at this place to get some tacos. And, like, my mind was, like, running 1,000 miles a minute. I was thinking about 8 other things while I was ordering my food, right? And I looked at the menu, it said, ground beef or chicken. And I was like, the hell kind of taco place is this? I looked at the guy. I was like,
carne asada.
I was like, what you got? All you got is ground beef and chicken? And he's like, nah, we got carnitas, we got this and that. So my mind, the way it worked was when my mind found out that there was other meats, right? And immediately was like, yeah, okay, carnitas. Yeah, I don't eat pork.
Oh.
Right? So like I got my tacos, got in the car, you feel me? Like, put my seatbelt on, start riding out, jump on the highway, grab a taco, took a bite of that shit, took a couple chews, and was like,
something's not right.
And I looked at the color of the meat, and I was like, they gave me the wrong. I was like, no, I asked for this. Right? Got off the highway. Literally, there was a dope homeless dude standing there with a sign that said, hungry. So, like, yeah, Blood got 5 tacos this morning. He was like, yo. And it was crazy though, like not on some weird stuff, but like on some just like real stuff. Like his nose was dripping like crazy though, right? So like when I handed it to him, like I kind of like Gave him a quick little, like if I
Take
would have
him.
seen the drip earlier, I would have threw him at him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What would that have helped, man? You should have handed him a napkin or a Kleenex.
brother, I was trying to get up out that air. Brother.
Oh, you're like, oh, this might be a COVID situation.
I ain't worried about that. I got strong immunity for whatever comes my way, but I would like to avoid it, any of it at all costs. You know?
Threw it at him.
Let me lock myself in the closet with this dude. Nah.
Well, it's good to know that you wouldn't dine and dash.
I would never dine and dash. I've never done a thing like that in my life. Like, hold on. I digress.
I digress.
I've done things that I should not have. I might have, how does it go? Strategically transfer equipment to alternate location. Shout out to the fat electrician. But yeah, like when it comes to that type of stuff, though, I'm real classy with it.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Zenergy, an exquisite energy supplement designed to nourish both body and mind. Zenergy combines the tranquil, stress-relieving benefits of kava with the focused, energizing properties of kratom extract. This refined fusion provides a smooth, sustained energy that calms the mind while sharpening your focus. Zenergy offers an unparalleled experience of clarity and poise. Go to drinkzenergy.com, drinkxnergy.com.
I would never do
Well,
that.
there's this story that just came out. A guy named Jared.
Oh, yeah.
And Jared is actually, he's fairly famous in the Bay Area.
Yeah, they all know him.
Yeah, they all know him.
That's what was crazy.
But this guy, he's fast or whatever. Like he's good at what he does. He's alleged a serial bar tab skipper.
Serial bar tab skipper, or I would say a habitual tab runner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was just arrested or detained at Red Lobster in San Bruno.
Somebody finally got a hold of Jared.
They finally got hold of him. The infamous dine-and-dasher known around SF as Jared was arrested and detained once again for skipping on a bill. Though he has since been released, and bartenders be warned that he is currently a free man. San Francisco bartenders have been talking for a number of months about an alleged prolific dine-and-dasher offender known as Jared, but the local media just caught wind of this chatter last week. On late December, Reddit thread showed dozens of comments from those saying they worked in the service industry and have many times encountered the so-called Jared's bill-skipping ways. Someone even posted a map from a private Facebook group of bartenders detailing more than 36 SF establishments where Jared had supposedly left without paying his bills.
And that's just the people that were
on that Facebook thread.
That know, like, that are in the know, right? Imagine how many people that feel like, damn, I just got burned by that guy again.
Man, I gotta say, this, if I could deal with the moral aspects of this, it would really help my bank account, because I spend a lot of money going out to eat and do all this stuff. I like to eat well, trying new places. If I was just to leave, man, I'd have a lot more money to put into crypto or whatever, you know?
That's what's odd about this. It's like, I would go as far to believe that this guy is like, has a job, he's doing well. So I had a buddy of mine that, like, one time I was with him and my ex-girlfriend. We walked into a store, into a Foods Co. The guy literally had $2,000-$3,000 cash on him. Right. And me and her were shopping, and we were like walking out. And when we were walking out, they were like walking him back in because he had stole a toothbrush.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that's out there that's like that like just got that klepto in them
That's
for
the
no
klepto.
good reason, right? And I think this guy might be one of those people.
Oh, he's for sure. He's on a higher level of klepto than most.
Yeah, he enjoys it. But
There's got to be some aspect of him enjoying the thought of the people afterwards showing up going, he's not here? Where's the money?
Nah, he got it.
Shit, I got to deal with this now. Like, think of all the craziness that ensues afterwards. Like, does that bartender have to pay for it?
I'd love to interview this guy because I'm just curious. He's got to have like a system down to know exactly when to leave. Like, he don't sound like he's been chased many times. Like, this guy sounds like he's quite elusive.
If he got to dozens of places without them catching up to it until like now it's starting to happen, you know, he's been out pretty good at it.
As messed up as it is, I'm sorry, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
I think it's hella funny that this guy, like, this is his reality, and to me, that shit's crazy. And I think it's hilarious. Like,
so his reality now is he was just arrested at the El Camino Real in San Bruno Red Lobster.
what that mean for Jared? Jared gets out, and guess what? Jared still got to eat, dog.
Yeah, he's got to eat.
Jared still got to eat.
For sure. The Chronicle did not publish the suspect's name, saying his connection to additional incidents isn't established. So I'm sure there's some kind of more investigation. Though a separate SF Standard report from Friday notes that the arrest report confirms him as a 36-year-old Jared Scott of San Mateo.
Yeah, 90s baby, huh?
Yep. Yeah. The additional incident, it's described as previous in January, charged for skipping on a 191 meal bill at San Mateo's Pausa Bar and Cooker.
So imagine, like, that's a decent tab, dude. Hey, almost $200,
$200,
bro. Hey,
with the
you're a
tip.
waiter, and you're like, hey, they spending word. I know I'm about to get a fly tip on this one.
Oh, yeah. And then Jared's sitting there going, hey, man, I'm going to rack up this bill as high as I can. Enjoy it, then peace out.
Another round. Another round on me.
Yeah. Hey, I want to buy that lady over there a drink. Okay, hey, get her number. Come back.
This man,
peace
Jared's
out.
off the chain. Shout out Jared, man. Jared crazy.
Wow.
He entertained me, Jared.
Yeah, definitely entertaining.
I say that like I wouldn't take Jared's ass down if they was like, help, runner.
And you just run and jump on
I
him.
say that like I wouldn't. Shout out to all our Mexican brothers and sisters. You know, when we was kids, you know, when you play with Mexicans, man, you know, when you run, they did this dope little trip thing from behind. You know, they run up and they'll trip your outside, your back foot.
So it hits your
Exactly. They trip your outside foot, so it hits your inside foot, and both of them go, and you just end up on your side. Yeah, that's how I do Jared ass.
Oh, hey, that'd be a good way for him.
It would. That's what he needs.
Flat on his face.
That slam sound when he hits the ground. That jarring, that little reality dose. Because sometimes people need physical stuff.
Yeah, it's very easy. He could bust a tooth or something, and then he wouldn't even be able to go out and eat very much.
Bet you wouldn't forget about it either.
He'd have to get soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, lower bills regardless. So it
100%.
helps. It'll help.
So what we got here?
So moving on here, this is something that is kind of cool. You know, we be traveling, going to different places, and one of the things that came up was that you can rent Pablo Escobar's private jet as an Airbnb.
Yeah, for you youngsters that don't know who Pablo Escobar is, you're gonna have to do some Googling. But this guy was you know, a cocaine importer internationally that had a bank account essentially, even though it wasn't in the bank, that rivaled that of many countries.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and this was years ago when, you know, the amount of money that he was moving around was like huge for today's day and age.
Man, shout out to 80s, man.
Yeah.
80s, what a time.
So his jet, private jet, it's now wingless. So this jet, it's not like you could rent it and then, you know, hop in the cockpit and take off.
What is it though?
It's a 727.
Oh wow. Okay.
Original leather seats. It has a gold toilet.
So I have a little background in aviation, Like the nicest heavy jets are a BBJ, which is a Boeing business jet, 737 converted into a private jet. The Global Express, which is made by Bombardier, and the heavies start in for Gulfstream at G3. So G3, G4, and G550. And from what I understand, there's a G6 now. I've not seen it, but yeah. So this is back then when he did this, all of those planes that I just named were non-existent.
Yeah.
So he essentially made the first Boeing business jet.
Oh, really? So he created.
As far as I know, maybe someone else did this.
Here, this is luxury, man. I mean, straight up, it's almost like you have the yachts. This is a jet that is pimped out.
It's for that type of jet. It's pretty standard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The table is nice as hell though.
So fancy spending the night on a private jet for a few $100s per night, right? Partying like an 80s rock star. Throw in the fact that the jet belonged to King of Cocaine Pablo Escobar, and the bizarre Miami Vice theme is even more compelling. The converted 727-100 business jet is accessible as a permanently grounded Airbnb in Bristol, England. Local entrepreneur Johnny Palmer came upon the old bizliner in an aircraft graveyard, figuring it might have a second life as a theme hotel or make a good location for a photo shoot. Decommissioned in 2012, Palmer bought the jet without engines or wings and towed it to his industrial site in Bristol.
Bloody Johnny Palmer. He's a genius.
So here's the jet right here,
Genius,
man,
bruv.
with no wings, no engine, just sitting there.
Yeah, that's insane.
Palmer originally bought the Boeing as a cool family toy for having sleepovers with the kids, but then the Airbnb concept hit. There are loads of commercial aircraft restoration projects, but this is the only one business jet in the world. He says everything was there and we did a proper restoration job so it looks like it never left the 80s.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Zenergy, an exquisite energy supplement designed to nourish both body and mind. Zenergy combines the tranquil, stress-relieving benefits of kava with the focused, energizing properties of kratom extract. This refined fusion provides a smooth, sustained energy that calms the mind while sharpening your focus. Zenergy offers an unparalleled experience of clarity and poise. If you're interested in this product, go on drinkzenergy.com. That's drinkxnergy energy.com. Thank you again, Zenergy. We appreciate you guys.
Right?
Well, like he said, this is the only one of its kind in the world. Remember I said that?
Yeah, you did say that. You always shock me sometimes. Things that I don't know how you know.
Again, the Boeing BBJ is it's the only one that I know of that Boeing itself manufactures as a business jet, right? As a private plane. And its number is 737. This is a 727.
Yeah. Which is smaller.
It's smaller. So again, he did this and thought of doing this before Boeing thought of doing it. Boeing might have been inspired by this.
Yeah.
It's
Who
like
knows
that.
what kind of deals Pablo Escobar had back in the day.
I mean, I will not get into that.
So so here on the jet, when you go on there, like what's included? Like normally when you go into an Airbnb, like they'll have, here's some little cookies for you and maybe a bottle of wine or something.
For me, so they have a medium-sized jet called a Challenger, right? That's also made by Bombardier. So Bombardier owns the maglev. They make the bullet train.
Oh, yeah.
They also make the Sea-Doo.
Oh.
Sea-Doo is also owned by Sea-Doo is a subsidiary company of Bombardier as well.
Yeah.
And this company is a huge conglomerate to the point that they are even a contractor with the United States government as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the Challenger airplane has, from what I know of the private planes, to have the biggest circumference of fuselage, I can stand straight up in it. I have to duck slightly in a Gulfstream. Yeah. But sitting down in these planes, you know, you have all the leg room that one could ever want. And if you would like to recline your seat to the point that you're laying all the way down, you can do that. Usually the couches that are in the side completely fold out into beds.
Oh, wow.
You know, the laboratories are much nicer than that of commercial planes because of the quantity of people that you don't have to share them with, right?
Totally.
And the food, right? Like, you know, food is catered on those planes. So prior to your going on them, they know everything that you want and they will have it for you.
I wonder if the same kind of service happens on this when you rent the Airbnb. It says the Boeing has original leather seats.
You mean like if they provide the nose candy or not?
That's what I was originally thinking. It's like normally when you show up, they have like wine, strawberries, whatever. You know, you rent an Airbnb, they have something that they leave there for you. Is this like this, you know,
he probably would have did better with this if he moved it to Colombia.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that too. It's in the UK.
But
like,
this guy, again, me and you were like, yo, let's get a tent and stuff so we can hang out with our families in our yards and shit. Like, homie was like, yo, I'm going to buy this jet.
So check this out.
For my kids to play in it.
No.
Just again, like, I'm just thinking about the logistics of what it costed to move this fuselage of this plane from where it was to the UK. Damn.
Well, what I'm thinking is it was in the UK. There was probably some kind of bust or something. Let's read the story. There's got to be something here. Palmer spent 2 years or about 1,000 hours refitting the jet into a theme hotel, adding lighting, plumbing, modern televisions, and a kitchen with fridge. He even put lights in the cockpit, which still has its original equipment and seating, and looks like it's getting ready to escape the DEA raid.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know how that looks.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what that even looks like. Like, how do you look like you're getting ready to escape a raid unless you're starting a fire? I don't know. Or flush, I don't know.
So it says the Escobar connection. Palmer admits could be a bit of an urban legend. The aircraft was also rumored to have belonged to an Arab prince and even Arab, not Arab. Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's derogatory.
Man, see,
I apologize on Anthony's behalf. He doesn't know these things because he's just that good of a nice of a person.
Called it. So the Arab prince and even the mafia. Whatever the truth, guests still love the mystique. There's a bit of role-playing going on, he says. People enjoy living in the billionaire fantasy for a while and then returning home to their normal lives.
It sucks that it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Let's go sit on this plane and act rich.
Yeah, in the middle of a hangar kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, take some pictures in here acting like we're flying on a private jet, and really it's a look at it. It's sitting on top of a container.
I mean, if they could prove the authenticity of it, I think it could have some good potential for a business model, but the only thing that sucks is there's only one of them.
Yeah, and it says that it says on here that I think it's a couple $100. Yeah, $320 a night midweek or $625 on the weekends. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what it costs to store that damn thing. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be visiting, but if any of our listeners want to comment put a comment in there, let us know if you want to go hang out for a few days or even one night on Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, we'll try to put that link in the description for you guys.
So, bro, 32-year-old man had surgery to remove a rare type of cancer from his abdomen.
So, right? Like, at what point does at what point does a scientific theory become proven? And like, everything is theory until it's proven.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is something that the medical professionals don't believe that this is something to be possible. That this is not something that could be possible to happen to human being.
Yeah, so the surgeon catches the cancer from the patient in first ever case with experts shocked.
Yes.
So the surgeon went in there to help this guy.
Yeah.
Take out the cancer.
Yeah.
And somehow
Caught it.
whoa. All right, so let's dig in here a little bit.
All right. In a shocking turn of events, a surgeon operating on a cancer patient managed to contract the deadly disease in what is believed to be an unprecedented case. The doctor was performing surgery on a 32-year-old German man suffering from a rare type of cancer when he accidentally transplanted the disease into himself. This occurred when cells from the patient's tumor seeped into a cut on the surgeon's hand. Despite immediate disinfection and bandaging, the 53-year-old medic noticed a hard lump developing at the base of his middle finger about 5 months later. A hand specialist identified the lump as a malignant tumor genetically identical to the cancer suffered by his former patient. Doctors treating him concluded that he had contracted the cancer when his patient's tumor cells seeped into the cut. Now, I have a question about this. How do doctors not wear gloves when they do surgeries?
That's the first thought I had.
Was this guy elbow deep in blood or something? Like, how did blood seep into his glove?
It got his middle finger, right? So somehow it got through the glove, and he happened to have a cut right there too.
So here's my question. How did they know that that's what happened? Did he know that at that point in time that something had got into his glove? Did he know he had a tear in his glove? Like, what is even happening here? Is the placebo effect messing this guy up? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's definitely more to this.
Yeah, this is a trippy situation. The situation was deemed unusual by the authors of the case report because the body typically rejects any foreign tissue during a traditional transplant, and the same would have been expected in the doctor's case. They concluded that the surgeon's body had an ineffective anti-tumor immune response based on the tumor's development and growth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So he had the anti-tumor response wasn't correct. Like, this isn't something they check doctors for ahead of time,
right,
before
like their
they become
own
a
immune
surgeon.
system.
His immune system was like compromised in a way, which allowed this tissue.
It's not the work that the doctors do, in my opinion, that is the admirable part of it. In my opinion, it is the Hippocratic Oath that they take that says, hey, I'm going to go in here and treat this person no matter what, at the risk of my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I admire about doctors and people that work in the medical field. And to me, that's what makes it a big deal. And and some of those doctors know they have issues.
Yeah,
and they're still like, for the people.
Yeah, and doctors are just people too, right?
Yeah.
So you're a doctor. Like, when I first heard this, I thought to myself, well, what's the chances that this doctor just actually got the same disease or same tumor that the other one did? It's 5 months later. Like, who knows? Does it really have to do with this cut? And then it was like, oh, cut in his finger, and that kind of makes sense. And then what about the gloves, bro? Like,
there's a lot here. And I do know that they have high standards, medical standards in Germany for certain. So it's not like this is not a third world country where like they're bringing in water in a bowl from the river and nah. Like, this is Germany. So, like, this is definitely something that I would like to look further into. And
yeah, it just seems weird to me, man. And it almost seems like clickbait, you know? Like, because which is why we clicked on it to say this might be a good thing to talk about.
It says that he had the tumor removed and it showed no further signs of cancer afterward. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they did some testing on what they removed from him, and it was specific to the type of cancer that his patient had. How they made the association of how he contracted that with that, I don't know. You know, I would like to know more about how they had come to this point, you know.
For sure. It almost reminds me of a game like you play as kids. You know, it's like it's like tag, right? Tag, you're it, or you touch somebody, you're like, you got cooties now.
Boy. You got the cooties.
Yeah.
Hey, these kids don't even look, man, they got these kids so messed up, guys. Hey, they got these kids so messed up. They got the little boys out here right now. They don't have any strong male figures to follow, no Optimus Primes, no He-Mans, no, certain type of leaders, and it's just like they don't even know what a cootie is, brother.
They don't even know what a cootie is.
They don't even know what a cootie is, bro. Like, for real. Like, it's like if you tell one of these kids they got cooties, they might start crying on the spot.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a thing, man. It sounds weird too.
Hey, we thought it was funny as hell. Like, cooties, I got no cooties.
Nobody thought it was funny when they got it,
Right.
and everybody else looked at them. Oh, they got the cooties.
I don't have the cooties. Like, hey, can't nobody tell me what a cootie is to this day.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's definitely for sure.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Zenergy, an exquisite energy supplement designed to nourish both body and mind. Zenergy combines the tranquil, stress-relieving benefits of kava with the focused, energizing properties of kratom extract. This refined fusion provides a smooth, sustained energy that calms the mind while sharpening your focus. Zenergy offers an unparalleled experience of clarity and poise. Go to drinkzenergy.com, drinkxnergy.com.
So this next one's tough, dude. This one's tough.
Well, speaking of actually, though, the Hippocratic Oath.
We'll get there.
But
you want to switch?
Yeah, it's a tie-in.
Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, so let's go to this next story.
Yeah.
Right? Let me go to this one.
So, the doctors, apparently there's a group of doctors in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yep.
That are calling in sick to protest the lack of medical care in Gaza.
Yeah, so they're doing the same thing.
They're
creating it.
They're intentionally
creating a lack of medical care in their hospital where they work.
Right.
In order to show their support for the lack of care.
Which is a violation of their Hippocratic Oath. Though they're taking the day off, I get it. But it's like, man, people need help, man. I have my own experience with this. I'm a firm believer in the right to protest.
Yeah, me too.
The right for peaceful protest. You know, a lot of times things don't get done unless, people go out of their way to show people that they're serious about something that they're passionate about. Well, I have a friend of mine who, I will not mention his name because I didn't ask him. But one day he was on his way to work driving. You met him, you know of this. And he had a pain in his chest. And he drove himself to his primary care physician with chest pains, right? He didn't go to the ER, right?
Yeah.
He's like a man's man. He's like a tough dude, right? Like,
yeah.
So he drove himself to his primary care physician, and they were like, "What are you doing here? Like, you need to go to the ER, brother." So they sent him to the ER. When the ER, the doctors in the ER were like, "Listen, homie, like, what you got going on in your heart right now, like, we can't help you."
In the ER.
In the ER, they were like, "You need to go to San Francisco to a specialist. We're going to put you in an ambulance and send you over there." And he went, to San Francisco, and they found that his aortic valve exploded in his heart, which is normally an instant death sentence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, this is something that was genetic within him. His mother, if I'm not mistaken, passed from something very similar to this. And when they sewed up his aortic valve, another valve in his heart exploded. They fixed that. Took him a while to come back around. It's been over a year and a half, and thank God he's still with us. This guy's become one of the best friends that I have. Love him to death. You know him too.
Yeah. What a story.
Yeah, but the reason I tell this story is because I think of him when I think of things like this happening where these doctors are protesting, right? Like, what if that specialist that saved his life that day was one of these physicians, right? And then I was one of the people on my way to San Francisco one day. I literally just got through the toll plaza, barely onto the incline of the Bay Bridge when traffic came to a dead stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they were protesting
On the bridge.
on the Bay Bridge what was happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
So these people went up to the bridge and they blocked traffic.
With their cars, right?
With their cars, and they threw their keys off of the Bay Bridge.
Oh, jeez. So their cars are stuck there.
Yeah, and I was, me, my father, and my cousin were on our way to San Francisco to attend a court date in support of one of our family members that, can't take care of themselves, and like it was a serious thing. And
Sounds like you didn't make that court date.
nah, we actually sat on the bridge for several hours and ended up making a U-turn and driving the wrong way down the Bay Bridge. Yeah, so when these things happen, like, I would like people to be as mindful as possible about the impacts that you may have on others. Everyone is not in the same frame of mind as you, and everyone's situation is not the same as you. And when people need help, like, though what you're doing in your mind is seeking an improvement for a situation or a person or whatever the case, people, whatever the case is, like, we don't want to hurt any one person to try to make something better for ourselves.
Yeah, and it seems like what happened with that situation is they're protesting a war that's happening literally across the world, right? And they chose to do it by, in my eyes, committing a crime.
In my eyes, there's a large amount of arrogance by thinking that you doing this could possibly
change
make
anything.
an impact. Just take care of your people.
Yeah. I see that too, man.
So,
and how much of an inconvenience and messed up the days for all these other people because they were choosing to do this. And how many of those people that were sitting there in traffic that had everything go awry in their day will look at this and go, oh, but it's to support the,
But I also would like to share with the people what it is that these doctors and nurses take on with the Hippocratic Oath and what it is.
Yeah.
The Hippocratic Oath is a Greek medical text that requires new doctors to swear to uphold ethical standards and promises to care for their patients. The oath has been written many times over the centuries to reflect the values of different cultures. Now, This Hippocratic Oath is a very serious thing. It's life and death serious. And for those who have taken this and for those who uphold it, I thank you, and we thank you from The Gambler and The Guardian. Thank you. Shout out to all doctors and all nurses that are out there that choose this as a career path, that choose to take care of people because it's what they think is the right thing to do. Thank you all.
Yeah, those are the nurturing, caregiving types.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of times they're very selfless, give up themselves to support someone else.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to those people for sure.
Yes.
So you're saying that these doctors, that they left the people in their hospitals to go and protest,
Yeah.
are essentially violating the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, essentially they are. They can argue that they're not because they took the day off of work, but I mean, in actuality, it's kind of selfish what they did, these people specifically.
Yeah, and it kind of, the funny thing is, as we've been talking about the Hippocratic Oath, I can't help but think of hypocrite. And a hypocrite...
Hippocrates.
Yeah, so a hypocrite is someone who tells you not to do something, but then they just do it themselves.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking of hypocrite, and it's like, well, you're saying you're trying to protest not having enough health care in Gaza, and then you're kind of a hypocrite because
you're providing unhealth care over here
yes,
while you're doing this.
Is kind of crazy, right?
It is. Definitely is. It's definitely a conflict in interest at minimum.
Yeah.
Something that should be analyzed a little bit for certain. Okay.
So an Assumption University student who met the 22-year-old Army soldier was 18 and indicted. So college students charged with ambushing U.S. soldier in To Catch a Predator TikTok scheme.
Those kids are lucky they weren't unalived by that soldier.
Yeah, so it was a 22-year-old soldier who was reportedly attacked after agreeing to meet an 18-year-old woman at Assumption University in Massachusetts. So 5 Massachusetts college students are facing criminal charges after allegedly luring a soldier to their school's campus to ambush him in a TikTok trend inspired by To Catch a Predator. The 5 were among a larger group of nearly 30 students that chased the unwitting man from a building at Assumption University after he was invited there by a student on the dating app Tinder. According to a criminal complaint written by campus police and filed in Worcester District Court, okay? According to the complaint, there was no indication that the victim intended to meet anyone underage. The woman who invited him to the campus, 18-year-old Kelsey Brainerd, indicated her age on her dating app profile, police said. Minutes before the confrontation, police said footage showed that the victim was watching a baseball game in the student lounge with Brainerd, and there was ample personal space between them. According to video of the episode shared among students and seen by the police, regardless, the group of students allegedly framed the 22-year-old man and confronted him in the student lounge as a part of a deliberately staged event. The students appeared from hidden locations with their phones at the ready, recording as they berated the man as a sexual offender.
Y'all ain't Chris Hansen?
Right?
Y'all ain't Chris Hansen?
Grabbed him and blocked him from leaving the lounge. Ooh. When he escaped, and apparently he didn't go crazy on these people because everybody seemed fine, but when he escaped, 25 people gave chase.
Yeah, if that would have been me, they would have been running their ass up out of there trying to escape.
One student not named in court documents because he's a minor allegedly punched the victim in the back of the head. Once the victim reached his car, another student slammed his head into the car door. It's unclear whether the man was injured in the incident. A few minutes later, you see the group coming back in, laughing and high-fiving with each other.
They lucky he didn't have that fire on him. Because if he had that fire on him, he would have lit their ass up. And then we would have been singing this would have been a different article that we would have been reading right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That fire? That fire?
Oh, that's what I
That's
thought.
that fire.
Okay.
That's what they call it in Miami.
All right.
Fire.
I thought fire was like slang for a drug.
In Miami, everybody got that fire. Everybody got that fire on them in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got your fire?
Oh.
I stay with my fire.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like
All right,
that.
that's how it works.
It's like that.
All right. Easton Randall, 19, told police that he and his peers were inspired by popular NBC series To Catch a Predator, which featured the show's host, Chris Hansen, confronting men lured to a house where they thought they were meeting minors for sex before handling those men over to the waiting police. Randall said the group was cashing in on a TikTok fad modeled after the show in which people lure sexual predator, blah, blah, blah. Randall Brainerd, 18-year-old, Isabella Trudeau, an 18-year-old Joaquin Smith, faced charges of kidnapping and conspiracy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can't hold somebody against their will, dog. Like, anything that guy would have done to those people at that point in time would have been justified.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you
so
can't.
they actually put themselves in that crazy
if you guys in here right now was like, Nate, we not letting you out of this room. Yeah, that's considered kidnapping. So whatever I do is right by law.
Wow, these kids actually opened themselves up to get hurt.
No, they could have definitely lost their lives in this instance.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
Especially with a military person. Like, you don't know this. You don't know this kid.
He's got to be trained something. He's been in for years.
We don't know what this kid got going on.
So it says Brainerd was additionally charged with intimidation. An 18-year-old Kevin Carroll, who allegedly slammed the victim's head into the car door, is accused of assault and battery with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, they'll knock that charge down to just assault and battery because you just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll downgrade that though.
So it says Assumption University President Greg Weiner said that
another wiener.
Yeah, we're talking about hot dogs all around this show.
Wieners all over the place.
Yeah. Hey, don't go to North Korea, Greg. It's not your spot, man.
Right.
Greg Weiner, he said that the incident was abhorrent and anti-ethical to the Assumption University's mission and values in a statement, and said that the school's Department of Public Safety immediately launched an investigation after the alleged attack.
Greg is a trip. All I'm saying is, who says anti-ethical instead of unethical?
I know, right?
Yeah, I would look into Greg a little bit.
That's why I looked at that,
Greg doing a little too much. You guys might want to check him out.
Yeah. This situation is particularly sobering because the victim is an active duty military service member. Winner wrote, his service reminds us of the sacrifices made by those who defend our freedoms, including the opportunity to pursue a college education.
Every once in a while, I watch me an episode of To Catch a Predator. Sometimes I like to watch DJ Ghost. Shout out DJ Ghost. DJ Ghost will watch To Catch a Predator. Like, he'll react to like some episodes and it'd be hella funny. But like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Those people that are on To Catch a Predator, most of the time, like I think maybe 85, 90-something% of the time, they're those people that do not have the internal voice. They don't have the ability to like make good decisions, kick it back and forth with themselves in their heads.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I'll stop watching it though, because I'm like, literally, like, these people are just dumb. Like, they're just dumb as hell. And it's just like, it's like, it's obvious. It's like a farm. Like you can farm these type of people to do this type of dumb stuff over and over again forever. There will always be a To Catch a Predator if they want there to be one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of like that the bait car.
Oh yeah.
They set up the car, they leave the door open, the keys are in it.
I just feel crazy about like the places that they leave these cars at. Like, bro, like, why you don't leave that like downtown somewhere? Like, you gonna go like leave it in the hood? It's like, of course it's gonna get stolen in the hood.
Yeah, that's why they do it. It's to set them up. I always felt really weird about watching that show.
But the fact of the matter is, most of the time, people in the hood ain't leaving their cars like with keys in them like that, set up like
course.
that. In the hood, you got some people that, you know, is from the hood and they just on some real hood stuff that they're like, yeah, I leave my car running at the gas station, like, because it's like that, and I'm like that. But everybody ain't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? and that's less. And everybody knows who those people are. So it's like, to me, the setup is a little bit the setup itself is underhanded. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
that's what
come
I'm saying.
on, guys.
It's, I mean, baiting and all this.
Hey,
like,
bait Hey, keep catching those predators though. Bait them until there's no more of them. I don't care nothing about them, but like this little things like that, bait car in the hood stuff. It's like, you guys should they should like ratio out the locations a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks crazy for people that have conscious minds.
Yeah, they just don't want it to be in a normal place and then see that their cars could get stolen. They're like,
or the people that will do it will be some people that will shock you.
you know what I'm saying?
People
That's
that really ain't
thing.
thieves.
Yeah,
they just want to do something stupid.
Yeah, take a joyride, man. I mean, if they did it with the Maserati, it might be like, you know, have the videos in there. This person having the time of their life driving the Maserati, and then all of a sudden it stops.
Yep. Shout out, rest in peace, Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker passed away today as well. We ain't gonna have no time to do no piece on him, but when we were kids, Bob Uecker was this sports announcer that was on all types of commercials and stuff. He was hilarious, guys. So you guys get a chance, take a look at some old Bob Uecker videos, man. Rest in peace, Bob Uecker.
Yeah, so this next one, Nate, this one kind of churned my skin a little bit just because it was scary, you know?
Scary.
We be driving, you know? I was just out in Santa Rosa and drove a couple hours back. You just drove a couple hours to get here, right?
Yeah.
And so we'd be on them roads, right? And this one was where a little fender bender turned into a WWE style chaos as road rage ruffian body slams a single mom, right?
So they called him a ruffian.
No, ruffian.
What does that say about the person who wrote that article?
Yeah, right. So a single mother suffered a serious head injury and broken bones after being body slammed headfirst by a brute. It says a brute.
I'm just going to say this person that wrote this article, they got to be from the UK or something. I've never called anyone a brute or a ruffian a single time in my life. The last name is Gibbon. George Fitzgibbon. That could be.
Yeah.
That could be.
But it's New York Post, man. New York Post. So by a brute during a shocking road rage attack with the whole thing caught on video. Okay, we did watch the video. The video itself is pretty shoddy.
This is where I have a problem with these. Like, look, maybe he is a brute.
He's a big dude.
Maybe he is what was the other word?
A ruffian.
A ruffian. Maybe he is, because he definitely slammed this woman.
Yeah, he
slammed her. He
picked her up like this.
He skied her. He took her all the way to the 10th floor.
It's skied her. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, he skied her. He took her all the way to the 10th floor.
Yeah, and then these
and got her all the way back down to ground floor.
It shows him picking her up.
We talking
once he got her
up.
We
talking about legs. We talking about legs. 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, slammed her on her whole ass neck.
And then boom, slammed to the ground.
But my question, I'm not a sympathizer by any means. Like, anybody that puts hands on a woman, like, I believe they deserve to get effed up. That's just my opinion. I'm a guardian. I'm not into that. But
so the story is,
go ahead.
This mom, 31 years old, driving in Attleboro, Massachusetts, okay? Shortly before 9 a.m. on a Friday. When the driver in front of her stopped short, she didn't hit her brakes fast enough, hit him in the rear.
The choosing of the words.
Yeah, I know.
I
changed it, right?
Let's just say Friday when she rear-ended him.
Yeah,
let's say
she hit him.
Like,
right?
When the driver in front of her stopped short. So they're just trying to make him sound wrong from every on every corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the reality is she hit him. It's always her fault.
Right.
So it's her fault.
Right.
Right. And that's when things got violent, it says. Then in quotes, he kept slamming on his brakes, and then when we got to the intersection, he hit a light, and he was in front of me. Soares told the outlet, as soon as we went through, we didn't even make it across, and he slammed on his brakes, so I hit
This
him.
lady is a liar.
Well, I don't know.
And why I say that now is because what you just read.
Okay, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
Okay.
He kept slamming on his brakes.
My only question is, how many times did he slam on his brakes, right? Meaning, must have been you were so close to him that he felt like he needed to brake check you several times.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that.
What is the rules?
Yeah, if you get too close, you do a little brake.
Yeah, but
get your lights to come on.
As a driver, when you're behind a car, you must maintain
at least a couple car lengths.
Verbiage, safe following distance.
Okay, yeah, couple car lengths.
This lady is on this guy's butt. Maybe, I don't know, she could have maybe even been honking. We don't know we don't know his story.
Yeah.
He should not have slammed this lady on her neck. But it's like, dude, this is very selective writing here. The story and how it is being written is very selective. And this is why I would love to, again, see the entirety of the video to see what happened prior to this woman being slammed on her neck. I'm sure whatever it was, it still wasn't warranted. But I'm just curious, just to satisfy my own curiosities to like, lady, you was tiny and you was obviously following this guy too closely with your kids in the car, and then you got out. Like, why are you getting out of your car?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's too much here that's not quite adding up. Like, if me, right? I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of another.
Well, get out of the car because there was.
I'm just gonna say I might have to be in a little woman like this. I might have to stereotype this person. I might have to be a little nervous to be like, well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna stay in the car until the cops come.
Oh,
isn't that normal?
Not for me.
Yeah, but you're not a little woman.
Yeah, it seemed like this lady was pissed.
And that's why.
It seems like that.
Yeah, but
she got out of the car. It says right here, read this piece right here, Nate.
Police said that when the other driver, identified as 26-year-old Rhode Island resident Gladior Quesaya, stormed out of his car and yanked Soares out of her vehicle.
Soares said she only wanted to take photos of the damage when her attacker grabbed her phone. Then, this is from Soares. I tried to defend myself, and then he picked me up, and that was when the woman got the video of me being thrown to the ground.
There's a lot missing here.
Soares said, I remember thinking, I'm in the air right now. I'm in the air.
Yeah. I tried to defend myself. What?
So, according to a GoFundMe page that was set up for the battered mom, Soares was left on the ground, badly bruised and in tears, with bystanders looking on in shock.
Ain't nobody help her either.
Yeah, it sounds like they didn't really help her.
This is a crazy story to me. It's because it's like we got an incomplete story. We got one side of the story being told. We have only that side of the story's video that exists.
Yeah, because the video, when we watched it, and we will have it on here for you guys to view, it's
actually, we're going to play it right now.
Okay, here we go. Yep. And it starts, there she goes, getting slammed, right? That's it.
That's it.
That's all you see.
And then, again, man, all these people, man, non-thinking for themselves, no ability to have internal dialogue, they just going to sit here and watch this happen. Sit here and watch this lady get slammed like this and record it and feel like they've done something. Like, this is crazy. Why even be a witness? Why even say you saw anything? Like, I'll be more ashamed to say I saw something and I didn't do something.
How do you pronounce his name?
Quesia.
Quesia was booked at the scene and hit with charges of assault and battery by means of a dangerous weapon, resulting in serious injury.
You mean the ground?
Malicious destruction destruction of property and driving without a license. So, okay. So here's a little bit more to the story, though. If he didn't have a license, this chick hits him. He's, and he was driving without a license. Now the cops show up. He's in a bad spot. Definitely not a good idea to body slam her.
Nah, you just added you
just
compounded all of your issues, dude. Like everything that you had that was an issue is no longer an issue. Like you just gave yourself a real issue.
Yeah. He was held on a $25,000 bail. Soares was taken to hospital, suffering from a broken knee, a broken foot, an injured eye socket, and a serious head wound. Inappropriate and unacceptable conduct stemming from what was essentially a minor motor vehicle crash, said the police sergeant Kevin Sellers.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm sitting here looking at this guy's mugshot, and what I see is a man that just needed a break. It looks like he was going through a lot in his life, and he doesn't look mad to be sitting where he's sitting right now. He looks kind of at ease, fuck it, finally get to sit down.
I finally get to chill.
He might. We don't know what this guy got going on in his life, man. He messed up.
Meanwhile, Soares said she's just happy she was able to go home to see her children. He was just being a jerk off on the road, she said in a separate interview. I don't know if he was having a bad day. I don't know what that was, but if that's the type of person he is, I don't think he belongs in society with the rest of us.
I agree with that lady, but what I would say is this, man, y'all stop following people so close with your cars, man. Y'all get to safe following distance, man. Don't make people feel why is he so close to me?
This is a thing.
It's if you're it's like this. Pretend your car is you. If you're walking, right, and you turn around and there's somebody in your face breathing down your neck, nah, brother, give me my personal space. That's unsafe, right? That's unsafe. This is the same thing. Treat it as such. Come on, man. Cars are cars, man. They're heavy, right? Speed times mass and all that good stuff. The car in front of you, you guys know this stuff already. I don't have to tell you this. I don't even care about that stuff. I care more about how people feel when people are just pressed up on them. Give the people their space, man. Don't make people feel like they need to slam on their brakes.
Yeah, I mean, driving nowadays is different than a few years ago. It's definitely become much more road rage centric, and people are way more amped up, pushing, trying to get down the road to where, how my mom drives, she's the slow lane type person, right? And I'm worried about it because of people that will come up behind her and trying to get her to go faster, making her uncomfortable, making her potentially make a bad decision,
Yeah.
And even have somebody that's yelling and screaming at her as she's just trying to drive down the road and she's going the speed limit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She goes exactly the speed limit, I'm worried about that stuff, and I'm worried about people on the road because once you have an accident, as so small as this, it seems like this was just a little fender bender. You know what I mean? But then people at heightened levels of, for all the stuff going on in the world, whatever their day was, whatever their mental state is, can create.
You don't know what somebody's going through while you're sitting here on somebody. It's just a crazy story. He kept slamming on the brake. You mean more than once, more than twice?
Yeah, meaning you kept on pushing and staying so close to him that he was slamming on the brakes, going, get off my ass.
This is an indicator that he felt that he needed to do this, that he needed to slam on his brakes. This was something that,
Yeah, I wonder how the police report was written up. Did they say that it was her fault?
Right, for rear-ending him?
Or is that thrown out the window
voided
because,
now.
It ain't her fault no more because he did this afterwards.
So now he can't get his bumper paid for now.
Probably not. Yeah, how is that going to work? How does the insurance, how will they find a way to deny this claim?
These people, know what I mean? It's hilarious.
Yeah, this could be a thing. Good news for Miss Soares. She's raised more than $21,000 in GoFundMe since this incident has happened.
Yeah.
So she's going to be recovering for a little while.
Need to hire a driver.
Yeah, maybe she'll hire a driver.
Yeah.
She seems like she was probably having one of those days too, though. Is what I'd say.
Yeah, she looked like she was one of those people that be going through it. You know what I'm talking about? Them go through the motions people, them drama people.
Oh, I mean, anything's possible, especially nowadays. Let's, now that we've went through all these, we could get into,
Have we gone through them all?
We've gone through them all.
Make sure.
Except New Year's deadly trend that's been happening.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Zenergy, an exquisite energy supplement designed to nourish both body and mind. Zenergy combines the tranquil, stress-relieving benefits of kava with the focused, energizing properties of kratom extract. This refined fusion provides a smooth, sustained energy that calms the mind while sharpening your focus. Zenergy offers an unparalleled experience of clarity and poise. If you're interested in this product, go on drinkzenergy.com. That's drinkxnergy energy.com. Thank you again, Zenergy. We appreciate you guys.
So there seems to be this trend that happens every New Year's in Japan.
Yes.
That people seem to be dying.
Yes.
Which seems kind of crazy to me.
Well, it's crazy because of actually how it's happening. It's definitely not the intentions of anyone that it's happening to for it to happen. It's all done in tradition. And it just so happens, and it's crazy, it's because what's causing it is something that I actually enjoy to eat.
Yeah, well,
quite a bit myself.
Talk about the tradition.
Well, from what I understand, every year in Japan in New Year's, around this time of year, people come home to Japan, and they families get together, and they make mochi.
Yeah.
In the traditional way.
You mean like the ice cream?
Well,
the stuff that's on the outside of the ice cream.
Correct.
Yeah. It's kind of gooey.
Yeah, usually.
Chewy.
So usually, everywhere else, even here, mochi ice cream is a more recent development. But prior to that, it was just mochi itself,
which is a bean, right?
No.
What is it?
Mochi, if I'm not mistaken, is derived from. Is it? I believe
steamed.
No, I think it's rice flour.
Sweet rice.
It's rice flour.
Yeah.
Basically they beat the mochi and they make this. They cut it into these small pieces. Depending on who it is, they have different sizes that are liked, but traditionally there's about this big.
Okay, like a $50.
Yeah, and they have the regular mochi, which is unflavored, and then they have all of these other infused mochi flavors, like yuzu, which is a Japanese citrus, like what is it? I forget the name of the cherry blossom flavor, but they have all these cool flavors, like also like matcha, all these other exclusive
green tea.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that's exclusive to Japan flavor-wise. Sakura. So sakura is the ornamental cherry in Japan, but it has a specific flavor that is very good. And also ume, which is a plum, a Japanese plum. Yeah. So yeah, they have all these flavors that they infuse into these different types of mochi. And like I said, as of more recent, was made the mochi ice cream, which became,
very popular,
an international craze.
Yeah.
Mochi itself, it's not for everybody. Its texture is not for everyone. And these people make this mochi.
And the families come together because they're receiving their other family members from other places.
Yeah, and they're also carrying out the tradition.
The tradition of making mochi together and then making it into some kind of meal and stuff, and then they eat it.
But every year, apparently, in Japan, people perish from choking on mochi.
Whoa. And so this article says, despite an annual warning from authorities, a deadly New Year's trend continued in Japan as 2 people died after choking on mochi, a doughy cake made from steamed sweet rice that is traditionally served to celebrate the New Year. 9 people were taken to the hospitals in Tokyo after choking on mochi during the first 3 days in January.
Excuse me.
Citing 2 of those people, both elderly men, later died. A man in his 70s choked on mochi at his home just outside of Tokyo on New Year's Day.
Itabashi.
Yeah, that's the city. Sorry, I passed that up, but you're good on it. And was taken to the local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Another man in his 80s who lived in Tokyo suburb of Narima also died after choking on the delicacy, according to Japan Today. Right? So both of these men were older. Who knows what kind of stuff they were going through already before this mochi got in there.
Nah. They were good until they ate that mochi, brother. This ain't no health complication shit. Like, nah, choked to, that's it. Like, yeah, that's what happened.
Well, but man, all they did was eat something that they've eaten a million times.
When I was a kid, I remember being real small. Prior to my birth, my family, they had a family. You know, back in the day, they had like a family doctor.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it was back in the day.
It used to be.
Yeah, one doctor serves your whole family.
Now the healthcare controls the.
Yeah, they've ruined that. The Affordable Care Act has ruined that. But apparently there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Burnup.
Okay.
In San Francisco. Okay. That was my dad's and all of his siblings and family doctor that passed away from choking on a steak.
On a steak?
Yeah. I've choked on steak before. I've choked on quite a few things before, and I'm going to tell you something. I've had a couple of them that it was bad. Like, it was so far down and nobody was around that I just had to swallow it all the way down and get it down in there.
Oh.
And it was sitting there. And it was like, I wasn't not breathing as well as I should have been, and it eventually worked itself down. But yeah, that's choking is scary. I remember being a kid.
Man, I'm scared of that.
I remember being a kid and choking on a whole fish. Like, and my grandmother had to reach her.
What do you mean a whole fish?
Yeah, bro. I took a fish, bro, and put it in my mouth and tried to chew it and swallow it, bro. And I had a fish.
Like a goldfish?
No. So you know how a fish bone has like the main bone and all the other little side bones? Yeah, I had one of those like this, the whole thing in my throat.
You were a weird
I was probably
kid, bro.
like, I might have been 6.
Okay. But you thought you were going to eat this whole fish.
I didn't know about bones and fish. I just was eating fish because I wanted to eat food because I was a kid. I was hungry.
But a whole fish?
Yeah.
This wasn't like cooked or anything?
No, it was a cooked fish.
Oh, well, thank you.
So my grandma, there's 2 things. I'm gonna share 2 stories today with everybody that my grandma did. The next one is way off topic, but I'm gonna share it anyway.
I haven't heard any of these stories, so this is good.
So my grandma, my grandma used to be a nurse. Literally, my grandma reached her hand in my mouth, down into my throat, grabbed the fish bone, and removed it from my throat.
Damn. You got a small hand or you got a big mouth.
And then, this is a true story. And I always tell the little kids, the boys, I'm like, yo, be very careful when you're zipping your zipper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen some about Mary, bro.
Well, I haven't seen something about Mary, but what I have seen is I've seen my head zipped into my zipper when I was a kid.
Hey, but were the beans above the Frank? Or the Frank above the beans?
Brother.
I got to show you this. We're not going to be able to put it on our...
Let me just tell you what happened.
Oh, God, I really don't want to hear
I
this.
screamed, and my grandma was like, what's wrong? And I said, Grandma. I zipped it. I zipped my pee-pee.
Oh, God.
And my grandma
Oh gosh.
was like, let me see it. And reached down there and grabbed it and literally
Zoop.
ripped it out.
The zipper?
Yes, she ripped it out of the zipper.
I got some questions.
Yeah, I was bleeding.
Oh man.
Yep. Not horribly, but scarred for life.
Scarred for life.
Yeah.
I'm now scarred for life.
Yeah, not horribly, but scarred for life.
Yeah. You know.
So like when my son is like putting on his onesie, I'm like, yo, bro.
Hey, be careful.
Be careful, mind
Slow
your thing,
down
bro.
right
Make
now.
sure you don't zip your So in the Philippines they call it a tiling. I'm like, yo, bro, don't zip your tiling, bro. He's like, I'm not. All right,
So we're not going to be able to show the clip of something about Mary because, it's copyrighted and all that. But I'm going to show you when we're done with this podcast, the something about Mary thing.
Okay.
And then you'll understand the Franks above the beans, bro.
Okay.
Wow. I never knew I'd get that story from you, bro.
Yep. Well, hey, I'm sharing this with the world. My people.
Wow.
That's right.
This is Nathan being vulnerable.